Hey guys, this is Exodus Gear again, and I'm sorry for the delay on this video. I've actually been sick for the last week or so, so if I cough or sneeze, I apologize. I'm still actually trying to get over this cold. But let's go and hop in here as to what's happened with Bitcoin over the last week. Now you're probably wondering why this is back up again, but the US Marshal actually started auctioning off Bitcoin, if I'm not mistaken, on the 27th, which would have been yesterday on Friday. So everybody needs to keep an eye on this. If you do own some Bitcoin, I would suggest checking it out. I don't know how many they've sold or if they've sold them all at all. Um, but of course, this is going to affect the price. Whether it be positive or negative, I still don't know. Nobody knows, of course. But let's face it, it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Another thing that's been going around is these extortion letters. Apparently, little businesses, different ones. This one, if I'm not mistaken, was located up in New York somewhere or up in along the northeastern coast. Basically, they got this letter in the mail and it says, if you don't give us 1 Bitcoin by said deadline, then we will start harassing your business. We will make BBB complaints, negative online reviews, we'll make bomb threats, vandalisms, illegal drug sales, supposedly, mercury contamination for the food. I don't know how that's even going to work. But basically, they're trying to extort these businesses, and some of these businesses don't even know what Bitcoin is to begin with. But basically, if you don't pay your supposed amount due by said deadline, then the amount due actually multiplies, and then it becomes 3 Bitcoin. Now, I don't know exactly where this is actually coming from, or if anybody's actually taking any steps towards locating the people that are trying to commit this fraud. I would hope so, but knowing the government, they're probably too busy trying to regulate it, and this is going to probably slip by for a little while until somebody gets hit, unfortunately, really bad. But yeah, watch out for this, guys. I personally wouldn't pay out for them if I got a letter like that. Then again, I don't own a business, so it's up to y'all. I still wouldn't recommend it just because it seems to be bullshit to me. Apologize for the language if any kids are watching. But quickly moving on, the Swiss actually recently just let off a report that says that Bitcoin, well, actually, it laid the foundation more or less for Bitcoin to become legal money. They're saying, there's really no need to regulate it more than it already is because it's already acting as money. So if we were to put it into that category, it would already have, or it would be encapsulated by the current laws that are in effect, which kind of makes sense to me. I mean, if we're considering it money, then I don't see why a new law should go into effect. I think the old ones still kind of fall into line with it. Don't commit fraudulent acts with it. Don't buy illegal things with it. The norm. So again, that's another step forward. Cali, of course, would be trying to move into legalizing it as well. Of course, we're having a little bit more trouble in the U.S. But let's go ahead and keep this going a little bit. Western Union actually, another company, much like PayPal. I don't like Western Union very much, and I don't like PayPal very much. And the reason for this is because they've more or less been fighting against Bitcoin since the very beginning. PayPal more than Western Union. But I don't see the point in Western Union trying to, I guess, become this middleman between Bitcoin and the consumer. It's just more or less their way of saying, yeah, we accept Bitcoin, come give us extra money. When you could still, of course, set up your account or your wallet, and of course your family member could set up their wallet and transfer it back and forth. And of course there's no middleman. You don't have to pay Western Union a damn thing to send the money back and forth or to send the Bitcoin back and forth. So I personally feel that Western Union is just kind of trying to hop on the ride now. I guess it's $1 late, but whatever. A day late and $1 short. I'm sorry. It's a bad grammar on my part. But let's go ahead and move on and finish off with something positive. I always like to end with something positive, and we'll end it with rhinos. Rhinos and Africa. A lot of good stuff has been happening in Africa recently. Bitcoin has started a foundation to actually try and stop the poaching of rhinos and, of course, other endangered species out in Africa, and that's always a good thing. We, of course, as humans, like to demolish everything that we come across, and rhinos being one of them because of, you know, horns, stuff like that, old, ancient, mythical, medicinal purposes where you get to eat the rhino horn and somehow it brings back virility. I don't get it, but it's a good thing that Bitcoin, of course, is getting back into the game and helping out with some of these endangered species and helping out with the poachers trying to get rid of them. Another good thing that's happening in Africa right now is BitPesa. BitPesa has been set up. Now, for some of those who don't know what that is, it's more or less kind of set up so you can transfer back and forth Bitcoin, which is a good thing because a lot of the populace out there isn't going to necessarily have access to a phone, to a computer, let alone, I mean, any kind of stuff like that. And I want to say this is actually starting off in Kenya. And if I'm not mistaken, from the comments that the CEO made or their representative made, they are looking to expand into other parts of Eastern Africa, including Uganda. Let me see here. Yes, that is correct. Yes, BitPesa opens up for Kenyans, and it's actually looking towards Uganda, Tanzania, and other parts of Eastern Africa. So the good thing about that is if you have any family members that live out there and they're over here in the U.S. or Canada or wherever they may be working, if your family is back somewhere in Kenya and located in the eastern portion of Africa, you can actually start sending Bitcoin back and forth. It makes it a little bit easier. And again, you don't have to pay these assholes to send the money for you. And again, sorry for the language if there's any kids out there, but another step forward in the Bitcoin community, I feel. So I'll go ahead and end this here. I won't take up any more of your time, and I will be back next week with another report on Bitcoin. Enjoy, guys.